The Chiefs were actually hyper aggressive in free agency. You saw Brett Veach and this front office actually spend significant money on re-signing key free agents and also bringing in some very savvy players that could make this team better. But in this video, I'm going to explain how the Chiefs' free agent philosophy is going to help them have a great NFL draft. You guys are listening to the KC Sports Report. My name is Michael Darcy. Hit that like button on this video and subscribe to this channel for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video topic because we all know that the Chiefs had a pretty good free agency. They went out and they signed a lot of players that can make this team better, whether it is left tackle Jalen Moore, running back Elijah Mitchell, cornerback Christian Fulton. There are so many good players the Chiefs added to this team, but I don't think that it's talked about enough how many players the Chiefs are bringing back. They re-signed Hollywood Brown. They re-signed Nick Bolton. They re-signed Charles Omenihu. They re-signed Mike Pennell. The list just keeps going on and on. The Chiefs are retaining and bringing back so many players from a team that won 15 games in the regular season and were one win away from three-peating. One win away from winning the freaking Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are just running this thing back. And I know that some Chiefs fans are a little bit worried about that because the Eagles were so much better than us in one game. I understand the hesitancy to be like, this is fantastic. Guys, bringing back the same core is why this team has gone to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 seasons. That continuity, that veteran presence, that leadership, that comes from playing together for so long. And so I think the Chiefs have had a fantastic offseason. They go into the draft basically having no holes. And I think that's why the Chiefs are in the perfect position heading into the 2025 NFL draft. The Chiefs can truly, for the first time in a while, take the best player available. If they're in the first round and a running back falls, let's say Omarion Hampton falls to pick 31, they can take him. If Luther Burden falls to pick 31, they can take him. The Chiefs are not pigeonholed because they didn't have a good free agency where, oh no, we need a defensive tackle, we need a wide receiver, we need a running back. The Chiefs have often put themselves in a disadvantage going into the draft because even last year, they needed a left tackle. They spent a second-round draft pick on Kingsley Suamataia out of BYU, and guess what? He played 2 games at left tackle. He was so bad the Chiefs had to bench him. And that was a need going into that draft. So now, since you have Jalen Moore, since you have so many other guys you brought in free agency, whether it is, Christian Fulton or Jerry Tillery or Elijah Mitchell, the Chiefs could play football tomorrow. If the Chiefs had to play football on opening day, because the Royals have opening day tomorrow. I'm wearing my Royals gear right now. If the Chiefs had to play tomorrow, they could field a very competitive team. And honestly, they could probably compete for a Super Bowl. It just goes to show you that even though they weren't big and splashy moves in free agency, the Chiefs didn't trade for DK Metcalf. They didn't trade for Deebo Samuel. They didn't sign any big name free agent, and it doesn't matter because a lot of people don't understand that you don't win Super Bowls in May. You do it in the draft. You do it by drafting well continuously, and the Chiefs have done that. They drafted well in 2020. They drafted well in 2022, and it's put them in a spot where they can go out in free agency and just bring in supplemental guys, and those guys have worked out. And I think that, talking about the position the Chiefs are in going into this draft, they can take the best player available, and even if that's taking a running back or a wide receiver, heck, even if it's a guard. I know I made a video a couple days ago talking about how I'd be frustrated if they took a guard in the first round. If the guard is the best player available, take that guy. That's the point I'm at, and I think the Chiefs have earned that point because they did such a good job in free agency at addressing all of the concerns. Like going into the season, I'm curious to see how the offensive line performs, but the Chiefs don't have any major glaring holes. And that can't be said for, last year and the year before that. I will say that even in those years, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl and they won one of them. But I think the Chiefs have an opportunity to really be the best version of themselves. If they go into this draft and find 1, 2, 3 day one starters, goodness gracious, this Chiefs team is going to be loaded. And I think that's the benefit of going out and signing players, veterans at their position, like a Jerry Tillery. Jerry Tillery was never great. He's played for a couple different teams in the AFC West, but guess what? Now you don't have to draft a defensive tackle in the first round. You still can, but you could also take someone in rounds 2 or 3 because this is a very deep defensive tackle draft class, and you don't feel like you missed out. You can have him develop behind a Mike Pennell, behind a Jerry Tillery, and it's going to make this team a lot better. So I want to talk more about some positions the Chiefs might eye in this draft class, and we're going to do that right after this ad break. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you'll receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Huge thanks to all of our sponsors who support this show all off season long. But getting back into the main portion of this video, what are some big needs for this Chiefs team? They obviously need a defensive tackle, maybe a defensive end. I think running back is a position that they should target very early on in this draft. It might be round 2, it might be round 3, it could even be round 1, depending on what player falls. I think you also need a defensive end. I wouldn't hate a wide receiver. Again, if you have one of these good wide receivers, fall in the first or maybe spend a second or a third round pick just to give some more weapons to Patrick Mahomes. But I do think the Chiefs are in a very unique position. There's a lot of teams that are not in this position. They have to go into the draft and draft for needs. And the Chiefs don't have to do that. They can truly take the best player available, and I think that's going to help them in their philosophy. They're not going to have to reach. They can take players that might be more ready at their position or take developmental guys. But even if you're taking a developmental guy, you don't have to play him right away. You don't have that pressure, and that's something that we're not accustomed to seeing. And I think that's going to be a good thing for Brett Veach, for these scouts, that they truly can take the best player available. So Chiefs Kingdom, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. What do you think about the position the Chiefs are currently in? Because I think they're in a fantastic spot. They can truly, control their own destiny and take the best player available. And that's going to make this team a lot better. But there's also a lot of pressure to hit on these draft picks because you're getting close to having to pay those guys from 2022. Leo Chenal, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, they're all going to need an extension, and you might need to make some tough decisions. And it's easier to make those tough decisions if you go out and sign players in free agency. So Chiefs Kingdom, that is all the time I have in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more daily Chiefs content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.